There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I hope you are having a good week. I hope things are going well for you. I am very excited about this. Sandra, thank you for helping me get things sorted out there. I'm super excited about this. Now, how's it going to work? We've got, Jasmine asking, how do I join a team? We have a couple of requirements. And I will, talk you through them really quick here. First of all, you do have to read through the rules. That will be one of the steps that allows you to join a team. And then there are some other requirements which I believe y'all are going to meet automatically at this point. And if not, then I can sort of add you in as need be. Eventually, this is going to be the sort of thing where there's going to be some requirements that help us to prevent, people from coming in and griefing the whole program. But for right now, I feel like we can keep it pretty easy to join up. Now, what are we going to do today? Well, it's going to be a pretty straightforward session. I imagine today's going to be a bit short, but I do want to give everyone a chance to just jump in and mess around with the controls a little bit. These are new. These are going to be, like I said, they're not pretty yet. There are like maybe one or two screens where I'm thinking, you know what, this is about how I want it to look. The very first screen, that one looks okay. Once you join in with a party, the basic moves, that screen I think looks decent. But my goal will eventually be, of course, to have them all look nice, shiny, fresh. But if you'd like to join a team, please go ahead and read the rules. There are going to be some things that perhaps look a little strange on certain devices. I think I have gotten things pretty well ironed out for desktop because that's where I had the most sort of screen real estate. Things are going to be slightly more challenging on mobile, but this is a game you can play on mobile. Once you have, let's see, I wonder if there's a good way. Maybe I'll put it up here on the main screen so that people know how to join up when they get here. Hold on just a quick sec. Okay. Okay. Let me get this on there. See my action points rising, but how many do you get per time interval, and what is the time interval? So it depends on what level you're at. I would say most likely, essentially, you're going to get about 10 points per minute. That is probably going to vary pretty wildly over time, but for right now, that's roughly the earn rate. Does that show up? Not super clearly. Let's see. Ooh. Ugh. Alright, where's a good spot for this? Ain't none of it pretty. Hopefully that'll work for right now. Okay, so if you are playing on desktop, this should be up already or automatically. If not, you can go ahead and find the little panel down below that says Mix Play. It should be next to where it says Skills. And so if you don't see anything at the bottom of your screen, go ahead and click that. If you are on mobile, you're going to want to click the 3 dots in the corner of your screen. I'm guessing most people are going to be trying to do this via mobile. If it's not smooth or it's not working for you on mobile, I do apologize. That is the one that I had least time to actually kind of iron out. And then, of course, you know, I've heard the Mixer mobile app isn't quite as good as the desktop experience. So I would guess that gotta remember my mic discipline. I would guess that your best bet is going to be playing this via desktop, but it should be open for you on mobile as well. So go ahead and you do have to read the rules first, but then go ahead and you will be able to join the party. And you can go ahead and click join the party. You'll be able to join one of the 3 teams. Now, once you join a team, you are hooked into that team. It's going to require a formal request to back out of a team. I don't want people kind of jumping around and trying to game the system. So once you're on a team, expect to kind of stay there. But within the rules, it'll kind of tell you a little bit about how to decide which team to end up on. Essentially, Team Celius is going to be our more... That's for if you find yourself a more impulsive player, if you like to kind of rush into the action. Team 2, this is our Lenaith team, Team Lenaith. That team is going to be our sort of inquisitive team, the ones who want to investigate. And then we have Team 3, Team Halvir, and Team Halvir is going to be for those of you who feel like you want to play a little bit more restrained. Hopefully this will help the team kind of coherency work out well. But I want to give you all a chance, because of course this is pretty strange. I'm going to just throw some action points at you. Go ahead and just spam the system a bit. I want you to have a chance to kind of get that out of your system. So go ahead and I'm going to throw like 30 action points your way, just so you've got a chance to try some things out. But go ahead and spam whatever controls you want to right now, and we'll see how it looks. I do not know how much time today is going to take. Ultimately, what I would like to do is take a full, make it a full, 2-hour block, 1 to 3, I would say. Jasmine has joined Team Halvir. Excellent. Okay, this is good. At least we've got at least one person per team right now. But my hope is that eventually we would have, I could see. It would be a big dream to have like hundreds of people per team. Now, would that be crazy? Absolutely. And I would need to work out some stuff there. Okay, for instance, Sander has just rolled for Halvir. I discern realities about testing speak. When you closely study a situation or person, roll plus wisdom, and then the wisdom roll should be down there at the bottom. Yep, looks like you got an 8, but that is going to be mitigated by your stats. And eventually I would love to have the stats be rolled in automatically, but for right now, that ain't the case. Let's open up our other screen here. Okay. So... let's see. Halvir, I believe that was a roll plus wisdom, yes. And Celius the Hungry says, I aid the Nath. Okay, so Halvir rolled to study, let's see, about testing speak. So you roll plus wisdom, so it's an 8 plus your wisdom, which is a +1, so that's a 9. So that is a partial success, which means that on a 7 to 9, you only ask one of these questions. So go ahead and, Sander, go ahead and tell me, by the way, unfortunately, and I did not have time to find this everywhere and fix it, the little smiley face guy with the sunglasses, that is option B. Sorry, I'll have to go in and fix it later. But yeah, for right now, go ahead and from that list up there, I believe you've got A through F. C, okay, cool. What should I be on the lookout for? Well, you should be on the lookout for goofy controls with text that's too small. And hopefully that will not be a hindrance. But in order to make the text, small enough to fit in the box, essentially on mobile, it had to be pretty small, even on desktop. All right, and then what else happened? Celius aided Lenath. Cool. Let's see. What'd you roll? You rolled a 5. Okay, so you have failed to do so, and not only that, but you have opened yourself up to something bad happening. Fantastique. Okay, so I hope this looks interesting so far. Yeah, XP. So that is going to be gained by the character itself. So Halvir is going to get XP. Now, how does one gain XP? Well, there are 3 questions that we ask at the end of every session. Did we learn something new and important about the world? Did we loot a notable treasure? And did we defeat a notable monster or enemy? I'm a little surprised I know those off the top of my head, to be honest. Additionally, you will get XP if you resolve a bond, which we'll have to talk about those today, because we did not build those last time. I wanted a chance for people to get to know each other. And also, if you fulfill your alignment, you get 1 XP if you have done that at some point during your time in the session. I will get those in there. Quicks, 1, 2, 3. Hello, how's it going? If you'd like to join the adventure, go ahead and boot up MixPlay. If you're on desktop, it should come up automatically. If you are on mobile, you'll have to go to the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner and hit MixPlay. Back to Sanders' question about XP. Halvir is a neutral wizard, which means that at the end of the session, if Halvir has discovered something about a magical mystery, you will go ahead and Halvir will mark 1 XP. And I'll be taking care of that for right now. Eventually, I would love to have it be a system where, I can elect, a moderator for each team or something like that. But for right now, it's small enough I can probably take care of it myself. But yeah, XP happens at the end of the session. But I think we are in good shape here. Now I want to go through really quick. Quicks. So the mob is something that is not built yet, but the mob is going to be the one. Eventually, I'm going to turn up the join requirements. So it's going to be slightly. You'll have to be slightly more familiar with the channel if you want to join one of the team members. The mob will be open to anyone, and that group is going to help me sort of throw obstacles at people. It is going to let me make sure that control is properly set up, just so you can see that screen when you head over there. Because I threw in a little bit about it, but for right now, it essentially does nothing. Did not have a chance to. I was working on this. I'll just say extensively over the past week, especially last night, and I just the mob is going to be a complicated animal, so I'm going to leave it be for now. But over the coming, I would say 2 weeks, I really want to have that built out. But yeah, you're going to help me, generate enemies to throw at people, to throw at the party. And it's essentially going to be open for anyone to join. Roughly. Okay. And then the party those are our 3 adventurers. So you can go ahead and read the rules if you want to know about that. And you'll be able to understand exactly, what we're putting together here. Within the rules, no bigotry. Bigotry being, racism, sexism, etc. at all. Okay, now let's talk about our bonds really quick, because I do think we need to be be kind. We're going to be filling out some bonds really quick here. Let's start with Team Celius. Celius, I'm looking at one of these. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me zoom in on this so it's a little easier for y'all to see it. But over here, A, someone is puny and foolish but amusing to me. B, someone's ways are strange and confusing. C, someone is always getting into trouble. And by the way, we're going to be filling these in with one of your other 2 party members. Or D, someone shares my hunger for glory. Do we like A, B, C, or D? And for right now, you know, in the future I'll do this via poll, but for right now, just go ahead and shout it out. A? Okay. And who do we like? Is Lenath puny and foolish but amusing, or is Halvir puny and foolish but amusing? Halvir. Okay, sounds good. All right. Tiny wizard man. That's how some people like playing Quicks. All right. Now, our ranger, Team Lenath. Let's see. Going to turn my gain down just a little bit. Okay, we've got, I have guided blank before and they owe me for it. Blank is a friend of nature, so I will be their friend as well. Blank has no respect for nature, so I have no respect for them. Or blank does not understand life in the wild, so I will teach them. Which one do we like, Team Lenath? And for some of you will know how this works already. Tuna, Makwekwe, I know y'all do. But for those of you who don't, we're essentially just choosing one person. We're going to choose one for right now, and then I'll probably jump in with a different one later. Makwekwe, teach them. Let's see. We'll teach them. Okay, and who do we like for that? If you're playing on desktop, hopefully the character sheet is pretty straightforward there. I tried to include as much information as I thought was actually useful. And then on mobile, unfortunately, I had to throw in a little less information. If you want the full character sheet, you can go ahead and hit the Discord button in there, which will take you to a link where I have posted the full character sheet PDF, so you'll have access to that whole thing. All right, fantastic. And our team wizard, Halvir. We have got blank will play an important role in the events to come. I have foreseen it. B, blank is keeping an important secret from me. Or C, blank is woefully misinformed about the world. I will teach them all that I can. What do I like there? These bonds aren't necessarily going to be fulfilled at the end of every session. All right, perfect. We've got some team players in here, and I'm loving it right now. Fantastic. Thank you all. Okay, Lenath will play an important role in the events to come. I have foreseen it. Now, what does that mean? We'll have to see. You know, this is pretty weird. If we had one person playing this character, then they might have an idea of exactly how that was going to work. And, you know, Sander, maybe you do already. But for right now, who knows? Fantastic. Okay, yep, Sander and Jasmine agreeing on this one. All right. Now, let's get in and do something with this, shall we? As I said in the rules section, Quicks, there is not. You are on Team Lenath, and so you are all controlling Lenath, and that is Fish the Hawk is the character that we built there. Let's see. So, as I said in the rules section, go ahead and, for the most part, you can wait until I have called for a move from your specific character. So, when I need something from Team Lenath, I will go ahead and let them know. But there are going to be some moves that, you know, require you to interject, you know, like if you wanted to do, especially something where, you know, like Team Halvir, you might have an instance where you want to use spell defense and you would have to sort of throw that in when it feels appropriate. You can go ahead and do that out of turn, but yeah, just remember, y'all, don't spam controls and don't sweat action points. We'll be all right. Okay, so while I'm talking here, go ahead and take one more chance to just spam controls. If you want to, you know, throw something down here, I'll give you one more hit of 10 sweet action points, even though you should have been earning some already. And go ahead and spam controls while I give us our intro here. So, this first session, eventually I would like to do something a bit more visual with it, but this first session is going to be a lot of kind of theater of the mind. We're not going to be using a map. We're not going to be using like tokens or anything. So go ahead and just you'll be able to sort of imagine where things are at and what's happening. So you feel a sensation that you have felt at this point dozens of times before. You feel sand rushing over your skin. You can feel yourself laying down. You feel that your mind is clear but focused. You know where you're headed. And although it's dark all around you as the sand pours across your skin, you are enveloped in it. You're headed into the arena. The magical shifting sands of the arena base, they lift you up through magical means that have been lost through time. The arena is, of course, the most important cultural feature of the magical metropolis and indeed of the entire kingdom. And you are fighters. Now, whether you consider yourselves to be expert fighters who are just down on their luck, or whether you consider yourselves to be novice fighters who have a long way to go before you gain fame, I don't know. You as a team might have to decide that for yourself. What you do know is you are headed for the Goblin match. Now, this is an old pastime of the arena fights. Of course, arena fights can encompass anything from mighty champions taking each other one-on-one to circus events, almost. The Goblin Fight is somewhere in the middle. You know that at the end of this fight, regardless of who wins, you will, if you pass, you will be remembered as the group that got by goblins. If you manage to take out the goblins, then, well, it was a bit of a sideshow anyway. But you are starting out your careers here. Again, I don't know what your delusions of grandeur are like, but you are going to be fighting the Goblin Fight today. It's a fixture of every fight day, and you will all be participating in it. So, you feel the sand rush over your skin, and suddenly you catch a glimpse of sunlight. Up in the sky above, as the sand passes over your face, and as you are pushed up by old arcane magic through the sands, and you find yourself lying on the sand of the arena. You can hear, as you approach the surface, you heard the sounds growing, and now you hear at full blast the sound of thousands and thousands of viewers, thousands of people watching this, because this is what's going on not just in the city, but in the whole kingdom. This is the biggest event. Over on the other side of the arena, you sit up and you look, and you can see you are in an enormous oblong shape. This is a giant space, and you can see there's room for nearly 2 football fields in this entire arena, and you can see kind of the pieces of the seating areas. They shift a little bit. They are movable, and this entire arena is sort of modular to the point where when you are coming up through the sand, you never know what sort of fight you're about to get into. Quicks, welcome to Scooter Patrol. You never know what the environment will be like. What you do know today is you are fighting the Goblin Fight, and as such, on the other side of this big oblong shape, you can see the arena overall is decorated as a pretty standard arena. This is how they typically do it for the Goblin Fights. Straightforward. The goblins are theatrical. You can see them down at the other end emerging from the sand themselves. They get up, they shake themselves off, and they are almost acrobatic in their displays of bravado. You can see them on the other end, jumping, doing flips, stacking up onto each other, and then falling back down. You as a group, you know what you have to do here. It is party versus party. You can see them on the far end, and as such, Your way is clear. Time to kick some goblin butt. By the way, as far as like what the rating is on this stream, I would say like keep it around PG-13 or something like that. We're not going into full R-rated territory, full like M-rated territory. We're not going to head there, but PG-13 I don't mind. So damn it to hell if that gives you any indication of, you know, what sort of language level we're at. Now, let's get started, shall we? There is no initiative order in this game. We may institute one later if we find that's helpful. So for the time being, I'm just going to go in order of maybe dexterity rating. Yeah, so I think let's have our ranger go first for right now. And Quicks, that is for when you want to, so when Quicks, you type in chat, I don't necessarily know what team you're on. I do know, just because I saw you very recently join Team Lenath, that you are on Team Lenath, but if you wanted to say, if you wanted, you know, Lenath to speak and say something, that is how you would do it. Okay, now, Team Lenath, you are up first. So you and your companions are about 100 yards away. So think of it about one football field away from these goblins, and they are running around, sort of tumbling. They are joyful, and they are ready to kick your butt. What is it that you would like to do? You've got your moves there in your control panel, and go ahead and pick one. Ultimately, is it going to, you know, really matter? Like how we go? We'll see. I am going to try and essentially make your decisions make as much sense as possible, because I recognize you have a pretty limited control and pretty limited sort of internal communication. Okay. And for a lot of this, I'm probably just, you know, for the sake of speed, I'm probably going to be taking kind of the first order that comes through. And so there will likely be times when you'll have conflicting orders. For instance, you know, Lenath wanting to fire, and then Lenath also saying, "Let's let him get a bit closer." That's all right. Like I said, I'm probably gonna take kind of the first orders, and then remember, we will all roll with this. We're all playing this game together, and so we can think of this as just you know, part of the shared character experience. Okay, so we've got a volley at the biggest goblin. When you take aim and you shoot at an enemy at range, roll plus dex. On a 10, you've got a clear shot. You deal your damage. So let's see, what did you roll? You rolled a 7 on 2d6, but that is plus your dex. 7, 8, 9. So that is a partial success. McQuaquay, go ahead and choose one of those options. A, B, C, I believe are your options there, but you're also going to deal your damage. So you got a 2. Let's see. This is weird and super exciting. And essentially, I'm going to kind of let people take a look at these things, and Quicks, you don't need to really worry about that. That will be that is the dice rolling. Okay. Cool. Miguel says, "See, thanks." Okay, you take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1. By the way, I did sort out what exactly that means in relation to the ammo. So essentially, when you fire an arrow, you don't reduce the amount of ammo that you have. You only reduce it when you have to take several shots. I finally sorted out what that means. I've been playing this game for years, and I finally understood it. So you have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1, which means that you are down to, let's see, what did I think? Yeah, okay, so you've got 6 ammo, and now you're down to 5. And this is going to be important. I'm going to assume that after fights, you go ahead and recollect up to your full amount, obviously. But during a fight, you know, if you end up missing a lot and you choose this option a lot, you could end up at 0 ammo. And in that case, then you wouldn't be able to fire anymore until you've got a chance to, like, either buy more arrows or go and clean up the battlefield kind of thing. Okay, so you've got 5 ammo right now. But remember, you only mark it not when you fire, but when you have to mark your ammo down by 1 if you take this option. So, okay. Let's continue. Okay, and you have gone ahead and done 2 damage to the biggest goblin. Now, you do indeed see there's one in the back. He looks like he's got short little legs. He's got sort of like almost baby legs. It's kind of funny. But his torso and his arms are kind of hulking. And they have got like big banners draped over him. You can see some colors. You know, they look pretty tattered. They look like they might have just been flags pulled down off of who knows what. But he is pulling it down around himself, and he is headed toward you. But you do manage to stick him with an arrow. And let's see. I'm going to need a way to keep track of this, aren't I? Hold on a moment. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Hey, it's working so far. Next up in our dexterity order, let's see. We've got our wizard. So, Team Halvir, what would you like to do? You can feel free to ask me questions if you wish. Just keeping in mind, I'll be taking, for right now, and again, remember, we will be changing this system a lot as time goes on. But yeah, I'll take kind of the first thing to come down the pipe. While you are thinking, let me grab the text from the other window here because I think it will be helpful. Let's see, I'm going to add that up here. Seems like a decent spot. How does that look? Is that anything? Is this something? So our only issue here is going to be if you know, we don't have enough people to fill the positions. What edition of this is Dungeon World, so it is not Dungeons and Dragons per se. Okay, let's see. So Jasmine, that will sort of notify you, and I'll definitely let you cast it. But let's see. Typically the alarm spell, that is generally to sort of give you a warning. And by the way, for today, I'll just assume that you've got all of your spells prepared for the time being. But in the future, let's see, you prepare spells. You prepare new spells from your spell book whose total levels don't exceed your own +1. So technically, you only have 2 of these. 2 of these 3 prepared. Detect Magic is always there. It's a cantrip now, which means you've always got it available. But right now, I'll just assume you've got all 3 prepared. That's okay. You were extra set up for this fight. Don't count it in the future, though. All right. But I will certainly let you cast it. And again, typically this is the sort of thing that you would have to like mark out a specific area in order to alarm it. But for right now, what the heck, I'll be flexible. Let's say that you want to cast it on Lenath, the Ranger. Okay. So to cast this spell, on a 7 to 9, the spell is cast. It's going to be plus intelligence, though. So let's see. You roll a 7. Plus 2 is 9. So that's a partial success. The spell is cast, but go ahead and choose one of these options. And I don't know why it didn't spit them into chat there. But you should be able to see it in your sort of spellbook section. A, you draw unwelcome attention, etc. B, the spell disturbs the fabric of reality, etc. Or C, after it's cast, the spell is forgotten. Now, when I say forgotten, that just means that the spell is forgotten until you have a chance to re-prepare spells. It just means for right now, the stress of casting it has been a bit too much. So A, you want to put yourself in a spot. B, you would take -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time you prepare spells. That one's a pretty serious one. Or C, you forget this spell for right now. That's just for right now. Once you have a chance to prepare spells again, which happens, it can happen multiple times in a session, honestly. They probably won't this session because I think we're going to keep things pretty straightforward. But yeah, go ahead and Team Hollier, go ahead and choose one of those 3 options. Just A, B, or C. A? Sure. Yeah, that's a good option. A is a great one. You'll typically be, that one has, less permanent repercussions. But it's the sort of thing you might not want to choose it if you're like low on health or if you're in a particularly dangerous position. But for right now, it's a good option. So you draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot. The GM will tell you how. So I think what I'm going to do is make you the subject of our charge. So this is a goblin move. Moves taken by NPCs are typically, they're not as fleshed out as something like D&D, but right now they are going to charge at you. I would say you've got, they're going to spend this turn probably just running, but next turn they will have arrived. So let's see. I think you've got one more chance to do something and try and stave off this next time your turn comes around. Halvir. So you can see these goblins. They see your display of magic, and you can see they hold up a big banner that it looks like sort of crudely drawn sort of magical sparkles, as if a 4-year-old were trying to depict what magic looks like, with a big red X drawn through it. And so 2 of them hold it up and they're running straight towards you, and then the rest of them give a tiny goblin cry of ah! And it looks like the display of magic has not impressed them much. They're heading for you first. Okay, finally, let's go to our big bad barbarian boy. What do we like? And also, y'all feel free to give me feedback. My preference would be that if you've got feedback specifically on the sort of like the layout of things and how the control panel works, if you notice that something is kind of broken or it isn't quite right, I would definitely want that feedback. Ideally, do it via the Discord, because if we do it right now during the session, I will probably not be able to keep all of that information clear. So, got hack and slash the goblin. Okay, so you're going to need to run up on them, which is totally fine. I'm going to say that you spend the first part of your turn sprinting up toward the lead goblins here, Celius. And Celius says, I hack and slash the goblins. I hack and slash goblin. And we are definitely going to have to choose some good voices for these characters, aren't we? I hack and slash goblin. What is it? What's a good? You need to give me a, and we can do this over time. As a matter of fact, this is probably the sort of thing we want to decide as a group, like in the Discord later on. But we'll definitely need to cast these characters, and I can do some really terrible impressions of some actor for it. Okay, but we've got Celius the Hungry is going to hack and slash the goblins. So this Minotaur charges up the field, and you can see them kicking up sand of their hooves. You're going to attack, I assume, just sort of the first wave of goblins on a, let's see, so you rolled a 7 on 2d6. Okay, sounds good. You rolled a 7, plus 2 is 9. We've had, 3 9s in a row? One from everyone. So on this, you deal your damage, but the enemy is going to make an attack against you as well. So, yeah, I think you charge into the fray. Michelle, how's it going? Welcome. If you're watching on desktop, you should go ahead and see the panel already. If you're watching on mobile, you can hit the 3. You can go ahead and follow the directions up at the top right corner of my screen. So, Celius the Hungry has just charged down the field and made an attack. We have, let's see, you have done, you got a 1 on 1d10, so you charge into the thick of this goblin fray, and you are whacking around with your greatsword, and you find yourself clanging off of their armor. You have you see that a number of them have what looks like maybe studded leather armor. It essentially looks like they've got odd bits of armor that's generally too large for them, and then on a number of them they've just sort of like bolted some extra scrap of metal. It looks like even bits of broken sword are bolted on to use as shields. But they look prickly overall. They're like weird post-apocalyptic little goons. But you unfortunately don't manage to make much contact with them. You seem to be clanging just off of their armor. Let's see. They are also going to do damage to you. You see suddenly around you a bristle of spears, and they are going to take a whack at you. So I did not put in my my dice roller, so I'm going to have to use the one on Google. Let's see. Roll. And I'm not going to tell you what their roll is. Let's see. Huh. It doesn't even tell me. What the hey? It just says do damage. Okay. Well, let's call this, let's see. I think the situation with them is that when they all attack at once, I think they're going to do a d6 of damage. When you've got them on their own, they don't do nearly as much, but I attack just as the group for right now, so I'm going to roll a d6. Okay, well, they also did one, and if y'all have played Dungeon World before, then you know that you essentially just subtract the armor from the amount of damage done, and so you take no damage. Our Barbarian takes no damage. Okay. You also might know about this game, and this is part of the reason why I'm a little excited to be doing this on stream. It's why I'm glad I picked this game. There is no established GM turn. I take reactions if you guys roll poorly or, that sort of thing. So I don't have a full turn, which means we are already back to the top of our regular turn order. Quix says, I think the ranger should have a high-pitched-ish voice since it's an elf. Yeah, I think we'll sort that out in the Discord in the ensuing weeks. So we're back at the top of our turn order. So Lenaith, you are our most dexterous character, so let's hear from you again. I believe last time you took a shot at the biggest goblin. What would you like to do next, Lenaith? Not Halber's turn quite yet, Jasmine, but we'll be coming to them soon. Yeah, we need a decision from Team Lenaith. Jasmine, you are on Team Halber, the wizard, and so go ahead and we'll be coming to you next. That's okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. What do we think, Team Lenaith? Somebody send an order down the pipe. By the way, I'm pretty pleased with how this is going. We have our adventure underway, and later on, as I can trust this system more and more, because I think it's working so far, like I said, then I'll be able to add in some new interesting, story details, and I have an overall adventure planned out. Today, we're just whacking goblins, the classics. By the way, everyone, Defy Danger is generally one that I will be asking you to roll. That is typically like if something dangerous happens, then I'll tell you to Defy Danger. And I'll tell you which skill to use. Okay, let's see. Lenaith, I make a called shot targeting the head of the most armored goblin. Okay, sure. I think it looks like this Goblin Tough, the one that Lenaith targeted before, is probably the one here. So let's see. You're going to target the head here, which means that if you roll well enough, then they're going to stand still and do nothing but drool. Okay. Quicks rolled a 5 on 2d6. But this is a dexterity shot. So that is going to be +2, which means that is a partial success. So on a 7 to 9, instead of doing damage, they do nothing and but stand and drool for a few moments. So you didn't do damage with this one. That's how called shot works. When you have a partial success, that means you don't do the damage. But you do have a chance, like you did here. You have managed to sort of change the landscape of the battlefield somewhat. So now there's this thing, and essentially they're stunned and they're not going to be able to take a reaction here. And they're essentially just sort of standing out there, just like they just got pinged in the helmet. It didn't do any damage, like we said, but I do think that shot hit them real hard across the helmet, and you could hear it ring across the battlefield, across the arena. A cheer goes up as this ding rings out. You hit the big cauldron pot that they're using as a helmet, and they just sort of like sway in place for a second. A good shot from Lenath. They have managed to stun this goblin. So if somebody wanted to, do something about this specific goblin, Lenath has kind of set this up for something to happen, perhaps. For instance, because they're stunned, I wouldn't allow them to attack, even if there was like a partial success. So, Quicks, that's part of the system here. It wouldn't matter whether or not I had said they had a helmet. Essentially, on a partial success with called shot, you don't do any damage, but you do manage to succeed in the sort of special targeted action you were trying to do. So yeah, you've succeeded in doing this well. It just didn't also do damage this time. So we've got Halvir up next. Halvir, let's see. You have got a goblin group charging at you. They were far off before. Now it looks like they are running up on you, and they are getting pretty close. You can guess that as of the end of your turn here, they're probably going to be close enough to get you. Again, I don't take my own move order here, but they will be within range essentially. And yeah, okay, so actually that makes sense. If you wanted to defy danger, if you wanted to do that and just sort of like get yourself away from their kind of their focus, their attention, yeah, I would let you do that. That makes sense. So yeah, go ahead and how is it you want to just either one of you on the team there, go ahead and let me know what is it you would like to do. Like don't not what move do you want to take here, but just you can just throw it into chat. What is it specifically that you would like to do to try and avoid this oncoming danger? Are you trying to just essentially like flee and run out of the way? Are you trying to distract them somehow? Are you trying to, and again, this isn't tied to the rules or the moves, just give me some sort of narrative idea of what it is you're attempting to do here. A trick to distract. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think that'll work. So maybe a little bit of light prestidigitation. So go ahead and make an intelligence. I think it's gonna be intelligence. Defy danger with intelligence. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Defy danger with quick thinking plus intelligence. When you I won't gonna read the whole thing. Uh-oh. Got a 6. That's okay though. Because you've got a +2. So that brings it up to an 8. On a 7 to 9, you stumble or hesitate or flinch. And again, this is just this is how I act in this game. When you roll a partial success, essentially you get to do your thing, and I also get to throw something at you. And then on a full failure, then I get to throw something at you. And unfortunately, your character didn't do what they tried to do. But you've got a partial success, which means that you managed to get out of the way somewhat. And yeah, so okay, so I'll address one thing at a time. You stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Let's see. What do I want here? I think. Okay, here's what I think. Either here's my tough choice. I'll say A or B. A, and this is for Team Halbir. A, you see an opportunity to trick them, but unfortunately, it is going to basically distract them toward one of your companions here. Do we want A, Celius, or B, Lenath? And Lenath speaks. Lenath says, can I ask you to keep him away from me? I've only got a short sword. I'm supposed to use my bow. One of the things about this game that y'all should be aware of, and it might not change your mind, but essentially you do damage based on your class. It's one of the ways that they really simplified the whole system. So no matter what you're using, you're going to do D8 damage. Lenath. Okay, Celius. Celius, I think you've got a group of goblins distracted your way, so yeah, I think your next turn. Let's see. No, I think I should do it right now. Again, I don't know why, but it doesn't give me an amount of damage to do with them. So I think what I'm going to say is they're super distracted towards you, which means that if they do damage to you again soon, they are going to do, just for one instance of it, they're going to do D8 damage because there are like a lot of them focusing on you at once. Okay. So just for one turn of that. And of course that's if they do damage soon. Unless they forget at some point for some reason. Okay, so that was our wizard, and now we are to our barbarian. What do you think, Celius? What are you getting up to? You are surrounded, and you are Quick's aid / interfere. That is going to be for that's to help out your friends or interfere with what your friends are trying to do. The other party members here. Generally, aid is a great thing to do. It will still occupy your action. That'll occupy your turn. But essentially, you are helping them to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. Let's see. You can take that out of turn order, essentially. So if somebody comes like within one of something, for instance, we might have one here. I hack and slash at the goblins again. So, so this might be an opportunity for it. So we've got a hack and slash. He rolled a 4. Celius has a 4 here. So I think somebody go ahead and I'll just take, the first one, whatever. But you roll, and then if you do super well, then they get a +1, which it's a maximum of +1. So generally aid is only useful if they're within one of whatever they were trying to do. But he is at a 6 right now, which is a full failure. If you can give him a +1, then it will push him into a partial success range. Okay. When you help or hinder someone, okay. So let's see, do you have a bond with, you roll plus your bond. So let's see. Lenath is going to aid. Hold on. I've got to check some things. So Celius, so you do have a bond indeed, so that you get to roll plus that bond. So that means that's a 9, which won't carry you into a different category, but, okay, so you're also going to expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost. Let's see. Okay, so I think Lenath is going to, let's see. I think Lenath, decides to take a quick swipe in and just try and cut off a little bit of that goblin advance there. Now, we did say, so we've got a high numbers are good. Yep, you want higher numbers. But they come in blocks, so anything 6 or below is all considered the same thing. 7 to 9 is all considered the same thing, and then 10 plus is all considered the same thing. So let's do it from the top down. So we've got our hack and slash. Let's see. You rolled so this pushed it into a 7 range. You rolled a 1 again, however. I'm gonna make sure that roll is an actual. No, it's an actual roll. Okay. I wanted to make sure it wasn't like stuck on roll a 1 and then say it was on a D10. Okay, let's see where I'm at here. Sorry, just a moment. Okay. I almost accidentally muted my bot. That would have been a very different game all of a sudden. Okay. So, you find yourself once again, you are swinging around with your sword, and man, these things are quick. They just keep like dodging downward and sort of like they're whack-a-moling you. They're getting underneath your sword, and you find yourself once again they are dodging out of the way, and you can hear your sword kind of clanging off of their armor. Now this did take it into a partial success range, which means that I am going to roll that D8 of damage. Nope. D8? Yes, D8. Let's see. And remember, this is just for this time. Okay, that's a 5. Okay, so I'm going to change some hit points here. So you've got 1 armor, which knocks it down to 4, but you did take 4 damage. So you're down to 5 out of 9, and this is looking, well, not quite as great now. Let's see. And it's been a little while since I have run this game, so some of it's going to be, tempering on my end. Don't worry. As always, and I'll have to put this in the rules, my goal is never, like, to kill you. My goal is for it to be challenging and fun. So we managed to get that to happen. So you take 4 damage, but you know that it could have been worse. If Linnaeus hadn't swept through and cut off some of these individuals that are running at you, you are going to expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost. So I think I'm going to hit you with, let's see. Danger, retribution, or cost. What do we like? Yeah, on some of this, I'm going to be taking some of the piloting, just to keep things expedient. And keep in mind, I will do my very best not to put you in a position that's like unrecoverable. So quicks, ultimately it doesn't matter so much. If I were going to be, having you roll for like a specific type of attack here, then of course I would want you to be able to play to your strengths as a ranger. But for right now, don't worry about it. This is a lot of what happens in this game is going to be narrative. I think you run through and you cut onto some with your sword. Ultimately, this isn't a formal attack. This was just how you were helping here. And so, like, you're not going to roll to attack here or anything, so it's not going to matter what stats or what weapon you use. I think you expose yourself to some danger, however. And I think what's going to happen is that you are going to get, you're kind of going to get cut off from the rest of your group. So I think, next turn, you're probably going to have to start to deal with that. So, you've got, you managed to distract some of the goblins away, but now you're facing them down. Okay, so there was our barbarian, and then we had our ranger help out. And then I think we're back at our ranger already. And I guess, sometimes this is going to be like, sometimes it's going to occupy your whole action to try and aid someone. Sometimes not. We'll see. I've played a lot more RPGs since I ran much Dungeon World. So, I'm I'm guessing I'm going to be looking at this system with a pretty new set of eyes. So, Lenath, you are... you got cut off from the rest of your group. You're starting to back up here as you've got a smaller group of goblins, certainly than the ones that are going after Celius. But our elf ranger is sort of backing up, and of course, you know, you've got your full range of moves here that you want to take. What do we like, Lenath? What kind of stuff do you want to get into? And don't forget, everyone, you can go ahead and turn on mix play if you're on mobile by using the top right-hand corner. We've got a command coming down. Okay. Command fish the hawk. Fish! Go for the eyes. Okay. Let's see. I should move the roll higher, I think. Let's see. So that's an 11. Nice. But I think, let's see. I think you attack the same target, you add its ferocity to your damage. So, okay, so that makes sense. Go ahead and say... oh, yeah, that is a bit of a goof. So, McQuick is saying, sorry, Quicks, can't see chat when I enter mixed play on mobile. That is something that I have just now realized. Yeah, you can't see kind of what other people are saying within chat if you've got mixed play open on mobile. Well, we'll roll with it. So, let's see. I think... And you attack the same target, add its ferocity to your damage. Okay, so I think... Yeah, go ahead and make a volley here. Go ahead and somebody on Team Lenath, go ahead and make a volley attack. I assume. And then we will add their ferocity to your damage. Okay, so... volley at the... Let's see. Yeah, go for the eyes. Okay, so... You take aim and shoot at range. Let's see. So you rolled a 7, 8, 9. So that's a partial success. So you will do... Ooh, that's a big hit. That's a big hit. And I think you're just sort of like throwing it into this goblin like party. Maybe not necessarily like aiming for one goblin specifically, because like 7 plus the ferocity, because I think you, let's see, their ferocity is +3. So that's a total of 10. So that's not bad at all. So I think you probably just managed to like fully take out 2 goblins. And you know, one of them gets hit by your arrow and they make kind of a noise, and then falls into the sand, and they start to sink underneath the surface of the sand, back from whence you all came, and then your hawk manages to get at another one and goes for the eyes, and then you've got another goblin running around like trying to get this hawk off of their head. So you are going to have to choose one of these. So you've done your damage, but A, you have to move to get the shot, and it will put you in a danger of my choice. B, you have to take what you can get. So I will roll a d6 and we'll subtract that from the damage that you doled out. Or C, you have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1. So anyone from Team Lenath can go ahead and throw in... What was that noise? Excuse me? Hold on. Oh no, conflict. Okay, in that case, let's make this easy. What is that noise? I keep getting a weird notification noise. Why is that? All right, we're hitting B. That sounds good. Let's see. All right. Where's my PDF here? Okay. And on this one, yeah, I think you're probably right. You can probably afford to lose a bit here. Okay, so let me roll a d6. A 5. Okay, so that will cut it down to, let's see. I think you did 10 damage, and now it's going to be, so that's a total of 5 damage now, which means that the blinded one, I think they're blinded for right now, but it doesn't look like they're necessarily out of the fight altogether. But they are running around like, they're not doing much for right now. Which means I'm going to put the next attack by them as a, I'll put that as a D4 because they're sort of disorganized. They've got one of them like running among them, just like like scratching at their eyes and like trying to fight off this big bird. Okay, cool. I don't remember whose turn it is. I think that was Lenaith, but I don't remember if that was just like reacting to stuff. Okay. That was Lenaith. Okay, cool. Now we've got Halvir. Halvir, what would you like to do? Sander is ready. And that's a good way to do it, by the way, folks. If you've got an idea of what you want to do, go ahead and get that like ready up there. So, Halvir. Okay, we've got discern realities about C. What should I be on the lookout for? So you actually are going to get to ask a number of questions based on your roll. Okay, so a 7 on 2d6. Okay, 7 plus your discern realities is plus wisdom. So that is plus 1 for you. So that's a total of 8, which means that you get to ask one question. Okay, sounds good. And you asked, where's it at? C, what should I be on the lookout for? So we can easier defeat them. Okay, I see. I think, what do I give you here? What do we like? Okay, so you are taking a careful look at all of these goblins, and you realize they are sort of like, they've got a big anti-magic thing going on. This particular goblin troop seemed to be pretty anti-magic, and so that might mean a couple of things. It might mean that they are going to attack the first, site of magic, but it also means that maybe magic would be something that would put the fear in them. And you can also tell that this banner that they're holding, the big crudely drawn like no magic banner, that's something that it's sort of an important symbol to their group. So if you can manage to get at that, maybe you can have some sort of effect on their morale. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good. So, yeah, we've got our wizard there, and that was a partial success, but that's not one of the moves that I take a move against you on. We took care of that. You just on a partial success for that one, you just don't get to ask quite as many questions. So you're good there. Okay. Barbarian. Team Celius. What do we like? You are surrounded by goblins. A couple of them have knocked into each other. You watch one like run, through the group, and they're holding their eyes, and they are beset by Fish the Hawk. And Quix is wondering how Parlay works. Parlay is when you've got something that you can hold over the other party, when you've got leverage on a GM character and you manipulate them, then you can roll, and essentially on a full success they'll ask, then they'll do what you ask. Essentially, they might need a promise, and then on a partial success they're going to need sort of like a concrete reassurance of your promise. But it's a way to essentially like you're trying to talk to the other individual, talk to your enemies, and I guess maybe not enemies necessarily, but talk to the other people here, the NPCs, not the other PCs, but the non-player characters, and talk them down, make a deal with them somehow. But you do have to have leverage somehow, which maybe this banner would qualify as leverage at some point. So, Team Celius, what do we think here? What do we got? And I wonder if there might be instances here where I'm going to have to like jump in and perhaps pilot some of these characters. You know what the barbs do? I do, but you got to roll it. That's the problem. Okay, there we go. Goboids. Okay. You roll a 6 on 2d6, but I think you were good. Oh, that's a much better damage. Okay, so you are hacking and you are slashing. And hey, don't forget about your Herculean appetites, Team Celius. Or what are you waiting for? You got some good stuff in there. Don't you forget about it. Okay, so you're hacking and you are slashing around. You have got goblins surrounding you, and you finally you manage to get in a good hit on these suckers. Okay, so you rolled a 6, but that is going to be an 8 once you add your strength, which means you are going to do 9 damage. That ain't bad. Quick, yes, the first one is success, and then if it's a damage dealing move, then I have included the, you can see on a 2d6 is generally, like, that's referring to the skill check, and then if it's some other set of dice, for instance 1d10, then that's probably damage. So, you are going to, yep, 1d6 is complete fail. So Celius, finally, you sort of get the picture. You're like, oh, gotta aim lower, and so you take your sword on a massive undersweep, and within that, doing 9 damage, you manage to just flat out eliminate 4 goblins, which means that this crew of goblins is at about half staff now. And you're still staring down that big guy that's draped in the banners, and you still see the sort of the big guy draped in flags rather, and then you see the two they're sort of backing off a little bit now. They're holding up the no magic banner in the background. But you managed to take out 4 goblins with one mighty undersweep here. It goes pretty well for you there. Okay. Fantastic. Well done, Team Celius. And we're back to our ranger, Lenath. What's Lenath getting up to? Plus 10 is an attack where you take no retaliation, right? That is true. Oh, indeed. And that was a partial success, which means I got to do some damage at you. Okay. But I tell you what, you did real good in getting them whacked really hard, so I'm going to roll just a d4, because they are definitely not at full strength right now. You managed to take a lot of them out. Okay, a d4, just a 1, which means your armor goes ahead and eliminates that. So I think a couple of them try to hit back, but you manage to, like, chop their... you see a couple of spears come at you in retaliation, and then on your back swing, you manage to slice those spears in half, leaving just sharpened sticks of wood. Lovely. Hey, folks, I just want to say really quick, it's working, and it's super cool. I am bugging about this. This is super cool for me. Okay, so yeah, we've got Team Lenath. It is your turn. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't mark any damage for Celius because your armor, your natural toughness, your thick hide managed to deflect the broken spearheads coming at you. Okay, Lenath is volleying at the big goblin. Okay, let's see. And your roll is an 8, but you add your dexterity to that, which means that is a full success. Fantastique. Okay. Okay, so 1 for damage might be a little tough, but let's see. On a 10 plus, you get a clear shot and you deal your damage. So you don't need to choose any of these mitigating factors. Let's see. So you've got your arrow sings down the downrange, and you see it it like Plinkos. Are you guys familiar with Plinko machines? They're the little, you drop like a coin in at the top and it bounces between the different pegs. You watch your arrow go ding 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 ding. And this by the way, this is not a matter of a miss. You definitely hit, you connected, but for armor, and they do have 1 armor, your damage is reduced by that amount. So you can hear them like goblin shrieking as your armor sails in their midst, and they are scattering a little bit. They are going to let's see. They're starting to break rank here, and you're watching them as they don't seem so sure about this anymore. This is one of the hallmarks of goblin fights. The goblin fight on any fight day is typically characterized by super what do you say, like bravado goblins coming in, and then at some point during the fight they either start to win and they go really hard, or they start to lose and they end up fleeing. So maybe we're seeing the turn of the battle here. Ranger, that was a shot from Lenath, and then we have got our wizard. So Team Halvir, what are you doing? How can we prepare a spell? So preparing a spell is something that happens essentially like in between sessions or in between kind of fights and such. I'm going to give you a bit of a bonus and just say that you have prepared all of your spells, even though technically you're only supposed to be able to prepare a number of spells equal to your level +1. So you are level 1. You're dealing with first level spells. Cantrip you automatically get, so you could ignore that one. But these 3... you would essentially be able to pick 2 spells, because that would equal your level 1 + 1. So for a total of 2, you can pick 2 first level spells. When you are, say, level 5, you would get 5 + 1. So your level +1, so 5 + 1 = 6. So you'd be able to prepare like 2 third level spells, or 1 third level spell, and 3 first level spells, if that makes sense. But for right now, I'm just going to say you've got all of your spells prepared. I wonder if there's something like skooma or something in this game. If anyone's if anyone's played any of the Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion or Skyrim, something like skooma or something, some kind of potion, which it's got some pretty negative effects, but it does allow you to up your the number of spells you can prepare. I don't know. We'll see. But so you've already got all of your spells prepared. It would just be a matter of casting them. Otherwise, there is spell defense, which, by the way, I think Halvir, your alarm goes off as Lenath is in not a ton of danger, but in some danger. Lenath managed to sort of bring off some of the attack off of Celius. Your alarm spell does go into effect here. I don't know what sort of magical alarm sound would make for that for you, but who knows? I'm going to imagine it's a bit like I don't know. I could see it being interesting, like a sort of a magical breaking glass noise around your head that alerts you. Okay, spell defense. Okay, Halvir, let's see. So use spell defense to deflect this attack, ending the spell to help others. Okay, so for that one, that would be like, you would go ahead and use that if somebody took damage, which means that I'll let you sort of walk that back and not use that one if you want to choose a different move here. But if you do see that Lenath does take some damage, then you can go ahead and throw in spell defense, and I will subtract its level from the damage done to this one. I'm specifically disagreeing with. This one I typically go by the text always, but for this specific one, it says the spell ends and you subtract its level from the damage done to you. I'm going to say that you can apply this to anyone who makes sense. So Lenath makes the most sense here because you cast Alarm specifically on Lenath. So I don't mind if you like. We can walk that back, and so you'll still have that spell cast. Jasmine, yeah, it can be complicated sometimes, but it can be part of the fun of playing RPGs. I'm definitely glad we're not playing full-fledged Dungeons and Dragons because man, would that be complicated. By the way, anyone who wants to join up and become part of the adventure, go ahead and please read the rules first. Yeah, if you're on desktop, by the way, Halvir, Team Halvir, go ahead and take another move. But for anyone watching on desktop, you can go ahead and jump in through the Mixplay panel. It should be up there automatically. If you're watching on mobile, click the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you can turn on the Mixplay panel. You'll have to read the rules first, but then it should allow most of you in. If you're super new, it might not let you in quite yet. All right. What happens if you charm someone? If you charm someone, that they will behave as though they are your friend. Okay. Halvir. Okay, we've got a hack and slash. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so you're going to roll plus strength, which is, let's see, I think that's going to be a 0. Okay. So, let's see, Halvir, I imagine you're using, like, your staff or something. You know, like we discussed, it's all the same in terms of, like, I think eventually you can get, like, an enchanted weapon or something, but for right now, no matter what you use, it's all the same. So I'm going to say it's probably your staff you're using to make this attack, and you're going to hit at one of the goblins. Okay. So you rolled a 4, however. And you've got 0 strength for this one. So that is unfortunately going to be a failed roll, which means that it's going to expose you to a danger of my choice. And I think what's going to happen here is you're going to... I think you're going to get swarmed. I think they start to come away from Celius. I think they say, you know what, we are like, I think they say we found the magic user. Let's go get them. Yeah, so I think the big hulking one is maybe not joining this party. And remember, Celius did a good job of like cutting down their numbers pretty solidly, so they're still at not full strength. But you suddenly get swarmed by these things, and they are going to deal D4 damage. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to roll that one. Okay, a 1. So you've got no armor, so it is going to get through, which means you're now at 3 out of 4 hit points for right now. This is very exciting. Honestly, they do not go away. Oh, excuse me. So what about Lenath? Sorry. Yeah, when I'm just looking at names, I can't quite tell what team you're from. But Quix is from Team Lenath. Let's see. I think the ones that are on you are... I think they're still on you for right now. I think these are coming away from Celius. Because Celius just put in a ton of damage. And so they're not quite as interested in fighting Celius for right now. Okay. So there's our wizard. Wait, did I do that right? Did I do my math correctly? Yeah, okay. Oh man, I'm subtracting 1 from 4, and I'm not sure if I did my math correctly. Somebody help me. Okay, so that's our wizard, and then we've got our barbarian. So barbarian, Celius, you notice that from around your ankles, all of these goofy little goblins are suddenly swarming away. What do you do? They are shouting, and you can see them. They're hoofing it toward the wizard. And this time, the goblin banner holders, the ones with the anti-magic banner, they are joining the rush as well. It seems like they're going to try and, I don't know, maybe throw this banner over the wizard like a blanket or like a net or something. And okay. Lenath says, I defend the Barbarian. Okay. Quicks, is it safe to assume that you meant you defend the wizard? Wizard. Wait, wizard. Can I throw myself in front of them? Let's see. Okay. So it seems like you're both perhaps trying to do this. Okay, so since it is, yes, it would be defend. Let's see. Since it is the, okay, I'm gonna let Lenath's move stand here, and then depending on the outcome of that, Celius, you can see if you still want to do this. So, all right. So they are going to defend the wizard on a, okay. Roll a 6. So this is going to be plus Constitution. For Lenath. Let's see. Constitution is a +0. Okay, so, oh boy. Let's see. So that is unfortunately a failure. Let's see. So that is C, if you open up the attacker to an ally, giving that ally +1 forward against the attacker. That means that the next time somebody attacks them, somebody attacks that enemy, so you're going to open up the attacker to an ally. So whoever's attacking your friend, you'll open up the attacker to a hit, which means that when somebody tries to attack that attacker, it's a little complicated, I know, sorry. Essentially, you have made your enemy easier to hit, doing some complex battlefield footwork. Okay, so here's part of our issue. We have got a wizard being swarmed, and then the ranger Lenath is trying to jump in and hold off these goblins, but unfortunately, it seems now that they are both kind of penned in by these folks, which means that our barbarian might be the one to save the day here. So, Team Celius, what are you getting up to? Because we do have a full failure from our ranger. Essentially what I'm asking is, are you going to try and help the ranger, or are you going to try and aid the ranger, excuse me, or are you going to take some different move, in which case we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. What's the fate? And Quicks, I don't think I'm going to for right now. I think right now, like the just doing that much damage. I decided at the top that I was going to handle these goblins as sort of like a pack mentality, and I think because Celius did so much damage, and so did Lenath. Honestly, Celius and Lenath both managed to do a significant bit of damage, and so I think they're down to low enough numbers that this is all that they can do for right now. Okay, defend the wizard. Okay. Okay, so this does mean that the ranger is opened up to a bit of danger here. So I'm going to say that they get attacked now. Wizard, this might be a decent time to use spell defense. So maybe we can see, what kind of damage they do, and then if you feel like you want to negate that, then you can jump in with the spell defense. Let's see. What am I doing at all here? I'm totally blanking on what I need to do next. I need to roll for damage. Okay, so yeah, the goblins rush in, and they are going to take a whack at Lenath, who, let's see. So they rolled a 2. It's 1 armor, so they would take 1 point of damage here. They'd be down to 7 out of 8 hit points. And let me bounce back to Mixer to... Okay. Do your thing, Jasmine. Yep, and Jasmine, I feel like I know where this is headed, so I'm going to wait for you to put it in, but I'm guessing I know where you're headed with this. And if it's not working, just let me know, and we can try to work with it somehow. But let me make sure that I didn't forget anything here, because I think I don't remember exactly what was happening with with why. And yeah, Jasmine, is the control panel working okay for you? I know it's a very new system. We're trying it out, but overall, I've been pretty pleased with how it's working. You know, we're doing it. We've had a session so far. How much health does the Barbarian have left? The Barbarian has, let's see, they're at 5 out of 9 hit points. I think they are. So they're a little over half, but that damage has already been done. So that one's not one that you can slough off this spell defense for. Jasmine, is it safe to say you're going to try spell? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, cool. Sorry. Perfect. Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. Okay, so Halvir is going to use spell defense to deflect the attack, ending the alarm spell. Okay, so the alarm spell is ended. You still know the spell, excuse me, you haven't forgotten the spell or anything, so it is ready to cast again when you want to. But you do go ahead and end the alarm spell on the ranger, Lenath. And so, Lenath, you are about to take these blows, and then you feel a surge of magical energy coming off of you as Halvir dispels this magic, and I think everyone here right now can hear this shattering glass sound in magical space as the force deflects all of the spears away from Lenath. So, Lenath, you take no damage. Well done, Team Halvir. Okay. And I've got no idea where we're at in turn order. Let's see. I think we stood in defense of a wizard. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. So Celius tried to defend as well, which put it at a 6. Rolled a 5. So Celius, in order to defend, rolled a 5. Plus Constitution is a 6, and a 6 and below is considered a full failure. So we're in a bit of trouble here. Let's see what happens next. The Barbarian. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's what happens. The big goblin, the one that's more armored, the ones with flags draped around themselves, they are going to square up on Celius. Let's see. Because I think, Celius, you tried to sort of turn your back to help figure out, what was going on in the background here. So you tried to help out your friends, and in doing so, I think you get bopped in the back. Okay. What do we want to use here? Okay. And Team Lenath, just a second. Shoop, 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 shoop. Okay, I think here's what he's gonna do. Instead of attacking you, I think he's gonna try and like grapple you down. So, I'm gonna have you defy danger, team Celius. So go ahead and defy danger using. If you want to dodge out of the way, you can try using dexterity. If you want to just sort of like just fight him off, go ahead and use strength. Okay, strength. Oh, shocking. How could I have guessed? Okay, so that is a 9, which means that, okay, I think I'll say that you are about to slough them off. Let's just say that you take, just for one roll, instead of four, instead of like having to fight them off, just your very next move is going to be at a -1. So I'm just going to count that as weak for these purposes. So just for one move, it'll count as a -1 because you're trying to fight off this big horker, this big goblin horker. Okay, all right, and I have no idea where we're at in turn order. Lovely. We all got out of order, which is honestly it's okay. That's how this game was designed to be played. It's a little more challenging because we've got so many people, but yeah, that is perfectly all right. I think let's see. Lenath toss something in there. So going to hack and slash. So we've got hack and slash on the goblins. And let's see. This one happened slightly before. I'll take the first one because you rolled a little better. Don't count on me doing it every time. But this time I'll do it. So Lenath is going to hack and slash at the goblins. An 8 plus strength is 0, so that's gonna stay at an 8. So that is a partial success. On a partial success, you deal your damage, and the enemy makes an attack against you. So, Lenath, you have watched as this magical energy was dispelled from you, and it managed to deflect a lot of the attacks coming toward you, and there were quite a few on their way. But you round on them with your short sword, and you do 7 damage, which is mad decent. McQuaque, you know this happens. Come on, Here's the thing, McQuaque. I play some other games with McQuaque, and I'll tell you what. McQuaque's favorite game is remind Sam frequently if he's doing anything outside of the system, unless it benefits the party, in which case, forget it ever happened. You punk. All right. So, on a roll of a 7, let's see. So that is going to be that's an additional 3 goblins, and I think you managed to get one of the ones that is carrying the banner. Cool. You're a cool chick. Is that you? Is that you, Michaela, the cool chick? Yeah, I think you managed to hit one of the ones carrying the anti-magic banner, and then 2 additional goblins, which is not bad at all. Now they are going to be able to retaliate. So I'm going to go ahead and roll another d4 here. A 3 against the ranger, which is going to be knocked down to a 2. So that's going to put you at 6 out of 8 hit points. Now, spell defense is not an option here because the spell has already been dispelled by Lenath. But that is all right. You took off. You eliminated that 1 hit point, so you did a good job before. You are all good there. Let's see. I think okay, and like I said, I have no idea where we're at now. I'm drinking out of sort of a Tupperware. This is a quart container. I feel like a real chef because one of the YouTube channels I really love. I really like cooking at home. I really enjoy cooking. And one of my favorite YouTube channels is the Bon Appetit YouTube channel. And in the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen, they all drink out of these quart containers. So I'm not going to lie, it's super goofy, but I feel like a real chef boy. Why not? Why not do it? Make me feel good. Okay. I think let's see. I heard from the wizard as let's do wizard and then barbarian. So let's do Halvir, and then Celius, and then we'll try to get back into our regular sort of rotation. Halvir, what are you doing? Quick says, I feel like a real chef drinking water from a different than usual cup. I get it. You're totally right, and I get it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit like, I imagine it's a bit like people like buying the shoes that they see their favorite athletes wear or something. Except mine isn't super expensive. That is a fully valid criticism, but you know what? It is pleasing to me, so I shall continue to do it. And that's the team. Cheers, Jasmine. Okay, Team Halvir. What do we want to do here? Or, actually, you know what? Let's just do it popcorn style. Team Halvir or Team Celius, whichever one gets to it first. Okay, we've got a magic missile at the banner goblins. Okay, fantastic. So, we've got one of these goblins down already, which means if you can manage to get this other goblin, maybe they'll be demoralized enough, especially because you're using magic to get them. Let's see. Okay, we've got, so you rolled a 9, which means you're going to have to choose from the options. We'll get to those in just this. Actually, let's do those first. But 6 damage ain't bad. 6 damage ain't bad at all. Okay, so you're casting the spell. This is a, oh wait, no, hold on. That is a 9 plus your intelligence, which is a +2, which means it's an 11 and is a full success, which means you don't choose drawbacks whatsoever. None at all. Well done. So you managed to, you just absolutely smite this goblin, who is just like, I think it it leaves like a little, just a little wisp of smoke, but goblins are small anyway, and so you hear the sound of your magic missile. It sounds like a bottle rocket or like a Roman candle or something, and it lands, and where the goblin stood, there is now just a puff of smoke and a little whirlwind, a little dip in the sand where the goblin has been pulled back underneath the sands of the arena, as is customary. And with that, their anti-magic banner is lying on the ground. They're looking around pretty unsure about this now. Welcome back, Quicks. Sander, operating for Team Halvir, has managed to smite the remaining banner-bearing goblin. Okay, but we are at Team Celius now. Celius, what are you up to? There's the banner laying over on the ground. You are Team Celius. Let's see. You are still, remember, you've got this -1 forward, which just means for one action you're going to get a -1, because you are grappling with this big goofy goblin. Jasmine, yeah, the banner bearing goblin. Yes, that goblin is smote and sinking into the sand. All right, Team Celius. Celius the Hungry. I'm looking forward to voicing these characters, actually. Once we get a chance to talk about them in the Discord for a bit. I am just overjoyed that this is working. I'm super excited. This is how should I break the grapple? I think you have already essentially succeeded in breaking the grapple. That's what your defy danger was. You just didn't do it fully. So the grapple is broken. He doesn't have like a hold on you, but you are having to deal with it. So it's just a single turn of a -1. And that's the grapple will automatically be ended after that. Okay. Hack and slash the big boy. Okay, sounds good. So you rolled an 8. +2 is going to be 10, but it's a -1. So it's going to be a 9. So that is a partial success. Now, if somebody wanted to aid, if you can figure out a good way of aiding the barbarian, you could maybe push that into a full success. For right now, let's talk about damage. Celius does not have Charm. Celius is a barbarian. Charm is a spell that's only available to wizards. Okay, so somebody could take the 8 action, or I mean, he's a barbarian. He can take some hits here. We shall see. Especially because they are down. They're still going to be attacking with a D4, but their numbers are dwindled heavily. Okay, big boy is going to do, I think, D4 damage all on his own. Yeah, I'll run through the hit points really quickly. Celius is at 5 hit points out of 9. Lenaith is at 6 hit points out of 8. And Halvir is at 3 hit points out of 4. So I think for right now, I'm going to... So let's do the damage to the goblins first. He can fend for himself. Honestly, this is the Barbarian's jam. This is what the Barbarian tends to be good at. So, the Barbarian is going to take another mighty swing. Rolled a 7 on that one. Fantastic. With the 7, I think you managed to. Do you manage to fully kill this goblin, the big boy? Do you manage to fully get the big boy? Let's see. I don't think so. I don't think you do. Unfortunately not. Okay, so you have now got a very angry goblin in front of you, and he is definitely very injured, but he ain't down yet. It appears that his armor didn't do him much in the way of favors, but he's definitely feeling the hurt here. You get the impression he's on his last legs. Quicks, go ahead and you can throw that in chat. I'd be interested to know what your idea for the game modifier is. Also, however, we've got Team Lenaith. Go ahead and do it to him. By the way, I'm surprised. I did not realize we were going to get a full 2-hour session out of this, but it appears that we are indeed. We are indeed for our R&D. This is super cool. I'm so excited about this, folks. You have no idea how stoked I am that we're doing this. Okay. And so Team Lenaith, I am awaiting a move. Cool. Let's see. Okay, we've got make a called shot. When you attack a defenseless or surprised enemy at range, targeting the head of that big boy. Okay, so defenseless or surprised. I think I'm going to go ahead and let you... I will count this as surprise because he is currently specifically engaged with a different enemy. So instead of dealing with the people that are sort of right in front of you, Lenaith, you are making this shot at an enemy who I think that's fair to say that they're going to be surprised by this. We might not do this like that all the time, but for right now, I'm gonna allow it. So at the head, rolled a 4. Sander, let's see. That stream is going to start in about an hour. Yep, we're going to be ending this in the next 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to take a 1 hour break, and then we'll be doing our Harry Potter stream tonight, in 1 hour. So we've got a called shot here. Unfortunately, let's see, it's a 4. A 4. Lenaith. Let's see. So a +2 is only going to get you to a 6. So 6. That's a full failure, folks. Which means that you are in some trouble here. I think the goblins are going to attack you. Let's see. You try to make your shot, and it sails through, between the goblins that are rushing toward you. You're aiming for the one far down a field, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it connects. It swings wide. I will not make you do damage instead to Celius. Not this time. Maybe in the future, when I'm feeling particularly devious. But in this case, I'm just going to roll some damage because I think the goblins that are nearest you are going to get you. Ooh, Jinky's Scoob. That is, I rolled a 4, and so at 1 armor, you are down to 3 out of 8 hit points. You got bopped. Okay, we're close to the end of this fight here. One way or another. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I think for right now, let's just take kind of popcorn initiative. So whoever's got, let's see, modifier. When attacking with your mastered weapon, it's guaranteed to be at least a 5 on the damage. I'll consider it. I do know I've played a decent bit of this game, and it tends to be pretty well balanced. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see about it. So popcorn initiative. Whoever's got an order for me, I am ready to take it. Team Celius, Team Halvier, Team Celius, Team Lenath, Team Halvier. Whoever wants to take an action, I am ready to hear it out. The crowd is going absolutely wild. This is what they came for. Damage done to both sides. Who knows who's going to win this one? You've got your more typical adventuring party versus the goblins. Okay, we've got Halvier is going to volley at the goblins. Now, okay, really quick, Halvier, I don't know if Halvier has any ranged weapons, which is required for a volley. Let's see. Wizard, do you have like a dagger or anything? You got a staff. Okay. Yeah, Halvier, unless you want to let me know, like you've got something. You've got. I don't think you've got anything to make that work. I don't think there's anything around here that you could use for that. I would be willing perhaps to say, you like pick up a rock for, -1 to hit or something. But yeah, I think for right now, you don't have anything that you can use to volley. Unfortunately, the volley is the ranged attack, and you have to have some sort of ammunition to chuck at them or to shoot at them or something. Okay, so I'm still open to orders. Whoever's got something they want to toss in here. The banner is lying on the ground. The goblins are there are a few of them left, but they are largely scattered. The one is still running around. He's now like way down at the far end of the field because he's got no idea where he's at. Lenath is going to hack and slash the goblins closest to be. Okay, so rolled a 6, but let's see. Oof. So a hack and slash is done with strength, and you got a +0 to strength, which means that is a 6. It means I think you're going to get whacked again. So the tide of the battle has turned a little bit here. And once again, I'm going to roll for some damage. They're trying to press their advantage because they're not sure if they run away. They're not sure if they're going to make it out of here. So with that, I think Lenath is down to... So I rolled a 2, subtract 1 for armor, which means that... oh shoot, where were we at? We were at 3 out of 8, which means we're now at 2 out of 8. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is one of the things that can happen. This is how I take all my moves. I don't take a formal turn order. Let's see. You could do a defy danger to try and extricate yourself from the situation. To like try and run away, that sort of thing. But and also keep in mind, y'all have been in dozens of these fights, and you have lost to them before. We'll see what happens here. Fight your best. Okay. Okay, now I will tell you that this defy danger, so that the damage dealing, that is as a result of the 6. So this defy danger will like get you out of harm's way, but it won't like, it's not going to eliminate the damage that's already been dealt to you. Quicks, are you Team Lenath, are you still feeling that defy danger? because it's not going to reduce the damage that's already been done. Yeah, keep in mind that Defy Danger is explicitly something that I would generally have you roll rather than you taking it as a move. It's something where if I've identified a danger that is coming at you that can be avoided, then you would be able to avoid it using that. This particular instance, you were dealt damage because in the fray of your hacking and slashing, trying to use that short sword. You also took some damage in return, and you unfortunately didn't manage to make a hit. I'll just say right now, none of the Defy Danger options would reduce that damage. That damage has been done. And folks, don't worry too much about what happens if you get to 0 hit points here. Arena fights work a little bit differently. Don't sweat that too much. I'll just say they'll have a hard time keeping keeping fights interesting if the fighters don't have a little bit of help. Okay. So let's see. Halberd is going to discern realities about B. What is about to happen? Well, here we go. First of all, what did you roll? I rolled an 8. And this is plus wisdom, so it's going to be a 9, so that's a partial success. So yeah, you get to ask one. B, what is about to happen? And what is about to happen specifically with, well, I'll just take it. In general, when you're doing discern realities, y'all can feel free to ask it about anything. And then regarding that subject, so like, I want to discern realities about the goblins, or I want to discern realities about the sand of the arena. And then you could ask me a number of questions about that subject related to the thing. But I'll just give you the general answer here. So Halberd is looking around once again using their keen eyes to try and suss out, what do we think is about to happen here? And that you can see Lenath. Lenath is bleeding at this point fairly heavily. But that this is from your experience here in the arena. When someone dies in the arena, they sink through the sand and they are revived. Something about the sand itself, perhaps maybe it's a deep magic within the arena, but that as arena fighters, unless you have performed an icing ritual. I'm going to have to think of a better name for that because I don't like that one. Or like an entombing ritual. Those are for like the big title fights. For this, if Lenath gets down to 0 hit points, Lenath is going to die. But when Lenath sinks through the sand, they aren't going to remember everything. They're not going to remember anything from their time in the sand. And when they emerge outside, or I should say down in the bowels of the arena, where, that's where like the green room is and all the, the armory and where you wait to enter your fight. Yeah, Sandra, I think this counts. I think so. When Lenath emerges, or any one of these goblins that you've taken out today, they are going to emerge unscathed, probably tired, probably very, very sore, but something would be, something in the arena would allow them to emerge from this fight unscathed, in spite of a total loss. And Quicks, it's for most injuries, apart from like total obliteration or something, this process is, you'll be out by later in the day. Sometime around sundown, I imagine. Okay. So, let's see it. Somebody give me a move. We're doing popcorn initiative. Halberd is going to cast magic missile at them all, in hope to scar them. Oh, to frighten them. Okay, let's see. Okay, you rolled a 5 on 2d6, but this is going to be plus your intelligence, so that's going to be 6, 7, which makes it a partial success. Let's look at the options for the partial successes. Okay, so A, are you going to draw unwelcome attention? Are you going to B, take -1 ongoing to casting a spell until the next time you prepare spells? Or C, are you going to forget this spell until the next time you prepare spells? And preparing spells is just like when you've got like, it says it down here. So when you've got like an hour or so in some quiet time to have a chance to like refocus, that's when you prepare spells. And so you can pretty well imagine like automatically between sessions, I imagine, depending on the sessions. Okay. So the spell disturbs the fabric of reality as it is cast. You're going to take a -1 ongoing to casting spells until the next time you prepare spells. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put this here for right now, but I think I'm going to, by the way, I'm going to remove that one from the Barbarian if it's not already. Okay, cool. But we'll have to remember this only applies to spell casting, not to all intelligence checks. Okay, so you've done your partial success business. Roll so 2d4. You did 5 damage. Okay. Let's see. This is a partial success. It's in an attempt to scare them. So I guess the question is just like, did you do enough damage to scare them? And I think a 5 will do it. Yeah. I think you managed to send the rest of them you managed to send all the ones but the big ones. But the big one, excuse me. So there's just the big boy. JRB, welcome. We are just finishing up our Dungeon World session. You managed to scare off all of the smaller goblins. The big one is still facing off with Celius, and I think is sort of like fighting with Celius in an attempt to get over to some of the weaker party members. All right. More orders. What's up? JRB, this is a game, and you can go ahead and join the game. I would say you're a little late for this one, but we will be doing this again next week at the same time, so never you fear. Quicks. So only one, though, that will do. Sander, I'm a little unclear about that one. But Quicks, let's see. You are mostly out of danger. Right now, it's just the big goblin who seems maybe a little too slow to understand that the rest of the goblins are fleeing. All right, what are we doing? I'll take an order from anyone here. Except for you, Streamlabs. Not you. You don't get to decide what happens next. Let's hear it, folks. We got one more goblin here. We got one big boy, and he is in rough shape. Okay, Celius. We've got a hack and slash from Celius. You know it. Okay, sounds good. So rolled a 6, but this is +2, takes you into partial success range. You're going to deal 4 damage, which absolutely will finish off this goblin. Let's see if he does anything on his way down. I think he does D4 damage all on his own. Let's see. Barbarian, what are you at? You're at 5 out of 9. Okay, this is not going to kill you. It only does 1 damage. Okay, so the big goblin, the big boy, the war boss, he takes one big swing at you with his spear, but it comes down right between your horns, Celius, and instead of doing any damage, it just it shatters against your one of your horns as this orc falls to the as this goblin falls to the ground. Even though it was a big boy, it only came about halfway up your height, Celius, and falls to the ground, run through by your sword and sinks into the sand. The crowd cheers. You hear the many screams and shouts of the children, especially the young ones. Love the goblin fights, and everyone around is cheering. You hear people start to get distracted, ordering for more beverages, more snacks, that sort of stuff. The goblin fights always tend to be a bit of an intermission, perhaps, for the more serious fight goers. But as you are looking around, as you soak up the admiration of the arena, you know that your stock has risen just a little bit. You as a party, your group is now a little better regarded, and next week maybe we'll find out some things about what your life is like outside of the ring. Perhaps you have earned yourself some better fights for in the future. Perhaps you've earned yourself a chance to really make a name for yourself here in the arena. What you do know is that today you have been successful, and as your ankles and then your knees and then your waist and then your whole body sinks down through the sand, you feel your wounds healing, and in the darkness of the sand, where you will emerge, a minute later, back in your designated room, in your rented room, underneath your rented like locker room, essentially, underneath the arena, where you will emerge in about a minute. You know that you've done well today. So that is the end. Thank you so very much for watching. If you are watching this on YouTube, that means that this is the YouTube premiere, which means that go right now over to Mixer, because we're going to be playing this now. Get over there. For those of you who are joining me today on Mixer, those of you who are with me live, fantastic job today. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been a really fun experience. I was super anxious about this. I stayed up ungodly late last night to try and make sure that this was functional. But I tell you what, it worked. It worked, and I'm super excited about it. So please tell people about this, even people that are in the Harry Potter mix. If you had fun today, go ahead and let them know, because I would love to get more people in here. I would love to spend more time doing this and really get this prettied up. And of course, I got to get the mob built up so that people can help me throw obstacles at y'all. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Sandra says, and we need to XP Javier for the magic discovery and about reviving the sand. Okay, so, let's talk about this really quick. Let's just go in order. We'll do our Barbarian first. Did we teach someone the ways of your people, Celius? For the sake of expediency, I'm going to say, I don't think so. I don't think in this instance you have done so. Our ranger, did you help an animal or a spirit of the wild? On this one, again, I don't believe so. I don't think sending your hawk at a bunch of goblins counts as helping them necessarily. In the future, this will be a much more collaborative project, but I am trying to shut this one down pretty quick because I have to prepare for my next stream. But in the future, we'll all be deciding this sort of together. For our wizard, did we discover something about a magical mystery? And yes, indeed, I believe we did. So I'm going to mark 1 XP for you. In addition, let's look at the bonds. Javier is puny and foolish, but amusing to me. We'll take a look at these later. These are a little more challenging. And then finally, did we learn something new and important about the world? And I think so. I think, just honestly, kind of by virtue of being session 1, we learned a decent bit about what the world is like and what's important here. So I'm going to go ahead and give you XP for that. Again, in the future, I'll be asking you, did we do this? Did we do this? Second, did we find notable loot or treasure? I believe it is. I don't think we did this session. And then finally, did we defeat a notable monster or enemy? And because this was your first fight, again, I am going to say, yes, indeed you did. So our barbarian has 2 XP. Our ranger has 2 XP. And our wizard has 3 XP. But barbarian, I actually have to ask you a question about your homeland, and I'm going to do that in the Discord. So, once I get the answer to that, I will mark an additional XP for that because that is part of your race move here. But thank you so much for participating today. Please join me in 1 hour and closer to 45 minutes. We'll be starting our Harry Potter stream. We're getting into book 6. Super exciting. So I love y'all. I'm going to sign off now. I hope you have a fantastic day, and hopefully I'll see you in just a bit. Bye-bye.